Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this Friday morning. We've got a big show lined up. We're giving away some seafood and giving a fishing report and all kind of cool things we're going to do today. So thanks for joining me. Our high today, 92. And that's just here on the coast. You can imagine heat index with all you guys and ladies inside the state there. Wow. Low's going to be 78. Water temperature is 82, and Gail put a little asterisk by it. The water temperature where we always get it in the past from that little NOAA buoy was not working. So we got the water temperature from the pier, the Panama City Beach Pier, and it's 82 out there, okay? Our river reading is brought to us by Mountain Dew. Get out and do. The Apalachicola at Bluntstown, it is a 7.1 and just sitting there, which is good. And the Choctaw Carabelle, a 4.8, and it's sitting there. Both rivers just flat. They're going to be flat on through the weekend, so it's going to be good fishing on the rivers. Okay, our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn, and we're looking at here. It's going to be a high tide this morning. We're about an hour away from it. Be at 6:58 this morning. The high tide is going out all day until about 6:05 tonight. Looking on the chart, good strong tide today and tomorrow on into look at next week. Next week is going to be just some super fishing for some good tidal movement. Our wind direction will be coming out of north-northwest at about 9. All right, we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Glad you're with us. Now listen, we're going to look at something as a situation where we always talk about our history and heritage, and we have something that's fading away. You're going to be a witness to it because it's just happening sort of this past week. And I've been out there before. You've heard me talk about the May House over there in Emerald Crest. And for those of you who are not familiar with it, it's where Alice Beach is. Mr. May came down in 1925. There's a Quincy, a Gaston County family, came down here, and he homesteaded 160 acres over there in South Walton, where Alice Beach and the seaside, Rosemary Beach, all that was his land at one time. And the family, their 5 generations have been there. Well, they had their last supper there this past weekend, and they have sold it. What they sold it piece by piece, and they kept holding on to the house. But they sold Alice Beach, all that area. And by the way, Alice Beach is a wealthy family, but one of the daughters was named Alice, and that's how it got its name. But all that beautiful area of Alice Beach and the Gulf front, and their home, the May family built there in 1927, I believe. But a home that's been there since been there 90 years. From actually 1925 to 2020, it's been there 95 years, and the house, they've been able to sold everything around it piece by piece, and they got to the point where the developers wanted it so bad they couldn't afford not to sell it, and it broke their heart and all. But I've been out there. Bradford May and I went to school together and been friends our whole lifetime. And Bradford, and I've been out there with Bradford and his lovely wife Crystal. Gail and I visited with him. Our families have known each other, and so it's sort of special to me because of the family connection to Gaston County. So anyway, I've got a set of pictures, and you're just going to be, it's just a thrill to it. Now, the Coast Guard, when World War II, talking about taking Tyndall, the Coast Guard took their house during World War II and lived in it. They were looking, riding up and down the beach on horses and looking for German submarines and all. So anyway, I'm going to read it to you, a little short paragraph, and then I'm going to show you the picture from this past weekend. Okay, so this weekend, this is one of the May boys who would be the age of my children, and that would be the 4th generation there. This weekend, we said goodbye to Emerald Crest. And let me tell you how I got his name, Emerald Crest. One of the guests there in the 30s and all had come down from Gaston County. It was a high bluff, and he was looking over the water. And he said, man, the water looks like just emerald out there. And we're sitting up here on this crest. And Mr. May said, we're going to call this place Emerald Crest. And that was the first ones that named that area, long before the Tourist Development Council and all them come up with all those names like Emerald. Emerald Crest was the original one. It was the oldest house on the Gulf of Mexico from Key West to Texas that's on the Gulf, okay? So the house is still standing. All right, the greatest beach house on earth. 95 years in South Walton County. We were there before Highway 98 and before 38 were built, before Seaside and before Rosemary, before electricity and running water. 5 generations of maize and family and friends and church retreats from Quincy have enjoyed this slice of heaven. The memories and the love are infinite. Our hearts are broken and yet they're full. So happy our family was able to spend one more night. So here are the pictures. I'm just going to show you. This is a house here, and it's just a remarkable house. You can imagine the kind of timber it was built with in 1925. And here the May on the far left is Fount May. Fount was a helicopter pilot in Vietnam and saw a lot of action. He was quite a hero there in Vietnam. In the middle is Bradford, and he was my age, and he and I been friends since elementary school, and his lovely wife, Crystal Johnson, who can sing. Man, you will hear her voice. And then on the far right is Fred May, and that was imposing, and their children and grandchildren going through this. And I don't know all their names, but you can imagine a family get together on the very last time in 95 years. This is looking west toward the sunset. You see how high the cliff is over there, the crest? It's incredible. And the old front porch with the rocking chairs have been there forever, and you can imagine the stories and all told on that old front porch. Here they are for their last day meal together, and it was a special occasion this past weekend as the May family gathered there. And they run a nursery now. The old tobacco farms and all, they turn into nurseries and very successful in their business. Here's the view looking south now, back toward Panama City, and Camp Helen would be down below there. And actually, they had a chance to buy Camp Helen one time before it was Camp Helen. So here's the front porch and the kids and all. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. This right here, this ping pong. That's Bradford's son, and let me tell you real quick about this ping pong table. When the Coast Guard took it in 1941, they just had guys staying there, and they built bunks in there and lockers. I think they had about 10 or 12 Coast Guard guys in there. Well, the guys built a ping pong table just to play ping pong. That's the original table built by Coast Guardmen in 1940, and the families kept that table. So can you imagine the history behind it? It's been on the same side of the porch the whole time, how well built that was. What is that, 60, 80-year-old ping pong table, and it's got a little bit of marks on the edges where some of the boys got mad when they lost a game point or something, but I just thought that little tidbit. And also a couple of lockers the Coast Guard guys built, they still had that in one of the bedrooms and all. So what a great heritage. And here we go, a couple more pictures looking out from the front porch and all. But I just wanted to share this with you because I know a lot of y'all like the heritage and the history of our area. So that's how it stands right there. Okay, one more picture of High on that crest. And now the big thing is what they're going to do to the house. They were giving the house away. And Auburn and Mississippi State were going to buy it. It fell through. And I always thought this Walton County Historical Society should buy that house, the oldest house, and not buy it. I mean, they're going to give it to them, and they couldn't come through with that. And 2 or 3 people. I really don't know what's going to be with the house. Gail and I have been there several times in this last 2 months, taking our camera and we're going to do a story, sort of a documentary on the May house. But I want to show you those pictures, and we've had a dinner with Bradford and Crystal, and they've told stories and all. So I want to be there when they actually move the house. But we don't know where they're going to move it yet. But man, if I could, wouldn't that be cool to have that old house like that? Okay, so let's move on. Anyway, that's the old May house at Emerald Crest, and I won't get to talk about it much anymore. Okay, let me tell you something else I enjoy doing. I'll tell you what, let me go and take a break, and I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let me mention this. A lot of y'all responded. My daughter Wendy has done this little ad on the show, and she's got a really good response from it. And I thank y'all very much because it's really helping a lot of people. But she's coming. She and Whitney are coming down next week. They're going to be in town. If anybody y'all want to see her in person and all, get a hold of her, get a hold of me, and I'll tell her so and so to call and whatever, and talk to her about that. That Social Security and all that. That's complicated. So I'm glad somebody like her can explain it to all of us. It really is. Okay, I want to read this to you. Well, let me go and show you. I got 3 pictures, only 3 pictures to show you. Let me go and show you this one. I mentioned yesterday about that he can find a canoe livery You go online. This is a picture there, and on the bottom right, it's open Monday through Friday by reservation. So call them on that number there and make reservations. They'll tell you what to do. That's the Econfina Canoe Livery, and that family is a family-owned and family-run business and been there a long time. So get a chance to go do that. That's a cool thing to do. I ran across this. I thought it was funny. You want to see some social distancing? Lend them some money. And all right, Buddy Epson right there, the late and great Buddy Epson. And one of the viewers sent this. Hey, Winston, I thought this was cool. I was fishing out in East Bay last Saturday evening when I came across this little thing out in the bay. Folks, that's a bear, okay? It made my evening just being with nature. Thought I'd share. That's Mark Flick there. But check it out. That's a bear over there in the East Bay, a little bear. And that's the thing about getting outdoors and doing things. And all you see some in nature, but it's cool to see a bear out there while you're fishing. So thanks, Mark Flick, for sharing that with our viewers and all. Let me read this. This is an obituary, okay? And I don't get this morbid feeling at all when reading these things because I love reading them. I always have. To me, it's a testimonial to one's life and what they've given and what they've accomplished. And sometimes, it's just, I just like to read them. I guess I don't know if everybody does that. And I would like to check the obituary page, make sure I'm not in it. But this one is, I saw the name. I did not know this guy. Owen Reese. Dr. Owen Reese passed away this week at 90 years old. And some of y'all may have had him. I got to know him indirectly through Captain Roy. He was Captain Roy's heart doctor. And Captain Roy talked about him quite a bit. Captain Roy took him fishing. So I got to sort of know about him. And I realized what a nice guy he was. And over the past few years and all, his daughter moved him up to Atlanta. So he lived up there the last few years and all. But I'm not going to read it. It's a long obituary. But I want to read what a fulfilled. I'm going to just read this one little section here if I can without my glasses and in this light in the garage, okay? Owens was known for his, it's hard to read, for his many interests, which included fine furniture making, woodworking, fishing, okay, tree farming, and Monday Night Football, back when it was good. He read his life in the Florida Panhandle. This is why I want you to listen to this. He read his life in the Florida Panhandle. Now, he had a degree from Emory and all that, but he loved the Florida Panhandle. With his family, he loved his family and friends. He taught his children how to tie knots, run a boat, water ski, scallop, gig flounder, rake for sand fleas, fell a tree, surf cast, and more. All this with varying success. And after his family on the first blueberry picking trip, the family only got one blueberry, so he ended up planting a blueberry farm up there in Washington County and encouraged others to go. And then he talked to him about his faith, a lifetime member and all. But I thought, what a great testimony, what this man did with his family. And taught him all those things. I said to myself, that's an outdoor class right there, all those things, tying the knots and all those things like that. So I just thought that was cool, okay? So anyway, I also told you, I was talking about, speaking of cemeteries, about getting the poison oak on us. And a lot of y'all have called and asked about it, and it's still bothering us some. But anyway, it's getting a little better. But I was looking up grafting camellias because I told y'all yesterday, and that looked pretty complicated to me. There are all kind of ways to do it. I thought it was just one way to do it, but all kind of ways. So we're going to have to really look into it. But anyway, my point being, you can start doing it between, here to the end of August. You can graft them and all. So if any of y'all know how to do it, it's a good time to do it. So I'm going to explore some more in all my spare time. Now, I want to show you an outdoor tip. I ran across this outside my tackle bench the other day. This is a float, okay? And I'm going to hold it up. See the twine attached to it, see all the lead at the bottom. And what we use this for, I know you have your electronics to find the fish and all, and Tony Bass and Wendy Colson and I use this a lot when we're down fishing off Carabel at the King Mackerel Tournament, which, by the way, they postponed it from the first weekend of August this year till October. So we're still going to fish it, but hopefully things will be a lot better in October. But anyway, and I know you have these real fancy fish finders, but they're expensive. So if you're on a shoestring budget like most of us, we use something like this, and you throw it out there, and then what happens? See, it goes it pulls all the way down, and it will mark, and also give you the direction of the current, and it will mark it. And a lot of times we'll go 400 or 500 yards away from it, but we find the fish, we know there's something down there, and we'll drop this off. We'll go 400, 500, 600 yards out that way, but we'll always sort of come back to this and troll around it. So, this is not a new innovation. We've had them for a good while, but I'm a firm believer in them. And you can even use them in a bait system. Now, once you find a deep hole on your bottom machine and you see a deep hole there, go ahead and drop it off. Especially if you're trolling for Spanish or something, then come back and go around that deep hole. So these are invaluable. They don't cost much, and they're really special. So I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, now let's move on and get ready for our drawings. We gave some away Wednesday. We're gonna give some away today. So this is the first one to be Los Antojitos, $25. That'll buy about 3 fish tacos. All right, the winner of this is going to be all the way from Alford, Vicky Welch. And let me tell you, on these, a lot of folks have been just coming by my house and picking them up. So if you can't do that, send me your address and I'll mail it to you. Okay, Vicky, you win that. Now, let's go down to Tarpon Dog Seafood. And the winner of Tarpon Dog Seafood, the $20 gift certificate is going to be all the way from Brandonville, Mike Burton. And the big red snapper is going to be Margie Gilmore, the Gilmore family. All right, so that takes care of our drawing. And don't forget to support our sponsors and all. Like I say, Wendy's got some really good results from her sponsorship. And also, Miller Fence Company. If you need a wood fence or any kind of fence, call Wilbur Miller and be sure. He's very conscientious and does quality work on fencing. I just want to give him a plug, okay? We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with our famous Friday fishing forecast. All right, welcome back. And let's look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers down in a fine little city of Port St. Joe. We're looking at 10:06 a.m. to 12:06, and then 10:32 to 12:32 tonight. Okay, I missed my Google Earth to show you all these places, but I've got a good report. This is old school right here, writing on a legal pad, but I'm right now in July. Let's talk about the bay system first. There's a lot of saltwater catfish being caught, and there's just a lot of catfish out in midsummer. So know that. I looked at the mullet the other day. Mullet are beginning to really sort of show up, and they're filling out. They've been eating good this summer, and the mullet are getting bigger. So we're right around the corner from throwing a cast net, getting started in August, late summer, and the bull reds at the bridges. And also a couple been caught off the beaches and a couple off the pier. So some of the bull reds are real active in the midsummer like this. The pier report, it's been Spanish. They caught some Spanish. They've caught a few pompano and caught a tarpon or two. So it's been just real steady. It's been best fishing has been early in the morning at the pier. Let's go to over here at near inshore. That was the inshore report. Now near shore, right off the coast. The two things I wrote down: sailfish. A couple of boats have caught some sailfish. You're talking about fun, especially just watching them jumping off. The sailfish and tarpon have been caught this week near shore. Okay. Also, let's go. Of course, offshore is a red snapper, and I have yet to find someone who hadn't had a good time red snapper fishing. I mean, it's been rough and all, but there have been very successful red snapper trips offshore this summer. There's been some very strong testimonials. Freshwater, real quick, I wrote down summer nights. 3 things in the summer nights, okay? Setting those trout lines for catfish and the mouth of those sloughs and the creeks going in there. Number 2, fly fishing. Fly fishing in summertime up on those willow trees. Fly fishing at night in Deer Point Lake or Lake Seminole. Fly fishing at night is great. And the 3rd thing is just frog gigging. Those 3 things, that's summer in the Florida Panhandle in the freshwater area. So be aware of that. Bass early and late. Okay, it's a 1-2 punch early and late for bass. Also, the gar, freshwater gar, they're a lot of fun to catch, and you can actually sight fish for gar. All the saltwater fishermen talking about sight fishing for redfish. Well, they've left out sight fishing for gar. So if you're an outdoorsman and around that river much, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, also, if you just want to see some gar jumping, I've mentioned this before, on a Saturday afternoon or something, go park up there at Ebro at the boat ramp and just look up and down the river, and I promise you, within a short period of time, you're going to see some gar coming out of the water like that. It's just really, I just love seeing them. But be careful out there. Also, I talked about the catfish, and you got the hard-headed catfish and the cell cat. And the big thing on the cell cat is they're good to eat. Okay, so be aware of that if you catch any of those. Okay, we're going to start wrapping things up. Well, I've got a little bit more time. I'm actually keeping time on my phone here, so if you notice me keep looking down, I'm not nervous or anything. I'm just seeing our time and all that. On the fly fish in the lake and sandhill, left out of sandhill ponds, we've had a really, really good time on the sandhill ponds. I've got some great reports from guys up there fishing late in the afternoon with different color flies. On the trot lines, the bait, you can use any kind of fresh bait. Okay, I haven't got a lot of word. My dad used to use catawba worms. I don't know if y'all are having good luck with the catawba trees. I just haven't got a good report on any of the catawba worms being caught. But the beauty of them, they just stay on the hook so long. Then you use like chicken livers or any kind of things that has a strong smell to it. So trot lines, you know, you've watched Bill Allen and I do it with Bill Shields, and we've missed doing that, and so we're going to get back to it. Like I say, everything else, we're going to get back to it pretty soon. One or two other things. Well, I got to start wrapping things up. Make sure when you use the outdoors and all and go out there, make sure nobody's throwing trash and all. Make sure you're considerate to your fellow sportsmen and just stick with them. Got to get out of here. Y'all have a great weekend and do something good for your fellow man. And God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.